And I'm joined here by some registered voters. Bastani, who's a political commentator who writes for a number of national newspapers. Jermain, Jackman, a Labour Party activist who many might recognise as the winner of the talent contest The Voice. He wants to remain. And Ellie Hughes, who's a Conservative Party member who wants to leave the EU. Well, Ellie, let's start with you. I mean, as many as 30% of under 25s are thought not to be registered to vote. Why do you think that is?
I think it's partly because there's not enough information out there. I mean, when I've been speaking to my friends, a lot of them don't seem to understand how to register. And once you explain it to them and they realise that it takes 3 minutes at the most, then they start to want to. It's just getting the information out there and teaching people how easy it is.
Well, Jermain, why, in your view, is it so important that under 25s do go and register and vote to remain, which is what you want to do?
You know, young people make up a large amount of people in each constituency, and we are very influential if we all stand up and have our voices heard and have our vote counted. You know, we politicians have a prime responsibility to go out and reach out to young people and get them registered.
You're not hearing what you want to hear in this debate at the moment?
Oh, I'm hearing a lot of things from both sides of the argument. I just want to urge young people to go out and register. They only got a few hours left and vote Remain.
Well, Aaron, you are very politically engaged, but you were very passionate pro-Brexit. Now you're wobbling. Why?
A couple of reasons. Jean-Claude Juncker came out last weekend. I think
the European Commission President.
Precisely. They're making it quite clear that we'd be made an example of. That reminds me of Greece last summer if we were to leave. I think there would be a recession. I think capital flight would be actually really significant. And a recession within the context of a rightward drift in British politics generally. I think increasingly an absence of leadership on the left, and I'm talking particularly about Jeremy Corbyn,
who you used to support.
I love Jeremy Corbyn. I have been in his corner 99% of the time against, in regard to arguments against the Parliamentary Labour Party, the media. But, I would be incredibly concerned in the context of recession, right-wing move in British politics generally, and then...
that workers' rights wouldn't be protected, for example?
I mean, you know what, there's a faction within the Conservative Party where I think whether or not we leave, they're hell-bent on doing this, right? Ditto free movement. So I think there has to, for people that are passionate about migrant rights and workers' rights, they have to understand that the context here is much bigger than June 23rd. There is an agenda with the Tory right, whether we leave, whether we remain. This is why they're in politics. It's to do these things. That's what they're all about.
Well, Ellie, isn't that the point that the EU has been good at protecting workers' rights, for example? Your 20 days guaranteed holiday a year, and that is in jeopardy potentially if we leave.
I don't think that's true at all. I mean, things like maternity leave, everyone says that the EU guarantees it, but we give extra maternity leave in the UK. Minimum wage is higher than in other countries in the EU. We go well above what the EU requires. So surely that's a case that we will protect our workers' rights no matter what happens.
Right, so it's all Project Fear then, Jermain?
Absolutely. This Leave campaign and the whole Leave ethos has been about scaremongering, fearmongering.
Oh, I was saying Project Fear by Remain, though.
Oh, no. You know, if someone was telling lies about me, I would set up a press conference and I would want to set the record straight. And
but it was a bit pots and kettles, though.
No, that's exactly what David Cameron was doing today. He understood the severity of it. He understood that the Great British public were being misled by false facts and false information, and he wanted to set the record straight.
Project Fear made you wobble, though, didn't it?
Well, Juncker as well, but also, like I said, absence of leadership on the left.
But did Project Fear work for you in terms of bringing you over to Remain?
You know, there's a lot of risks attendant with leaving, and anybody who's passionate about progressive values, radical politics, understood that. The point is, I thought that there would be a much broader discussion if we do leave, right? Right now, what people call neoliberalism, weak unions, declining pay, is unseen. Right. And if we did leave the EU, that would then become, I think, subject to public debate to a much greater extent. Okay. My problem is the left would have a very, very tiny voice in that.